Hello everyone, I want to welcome you into today's presentation that I titled Theory and Practical Steps on Horizontal Water Flow Velocity in Settling Tank during Water Treatment Process. My name is Omeja Maxwell. I am a water quality and environmental expert from the Department of Physics, Environmental Geophysics Option, Covenant University, Ota, Ogun State, Nigeria. These are my email addresses. Last week, we looked at the sedimentation of particles and the forces acting on a particle. We considered upward force, which is the drag force on a particle. We considered the viscous flow of a particle, the viscous force acting on the flow of a particle. We as well looked at the force that acts downward on a particle that is sedimenting, which is force of gravity. So all those forces were considered and the actions on a particle. Today we are going to look at these presentation outlines, condition of horizontal flow of water in a settling tank, governing equations of the horizontal flow velocity, horizontal and vertical component velocity of the settling tank, horizontal and vertical components of the settling time, settling of a suspension in a horizontal water flow settling tank. We are going to look at again the relationship between settling velocity and surface overflow rate. So all these things we are going to look at, all of them concern the velocity of a particle that is settling. So now, the conditions of horizontal flow of water in a settling tank. In water treatment process, settling occurs in a flowing water. An ideal horizontal flow settling tank has the following characteristics. Within the inlet portion of the tank, the suspension has a uniform cross composition over the cross-section area of the tank. Within the horizontal velocity, V0 is the same in all parts of the tank. It indicates that the particle that reaches the bottom is definitely removed from the process and is not resuspended. Now, look at the governing equation of the horizontal flow velocity. The governing equation to determine the flow velocity is given by the equation below. V0 is equal to Q all over B times by H, where V0 is the horizontal flow velocity in meter per hour, Q is the flow rate in meter cube per hour, B is the width of the tank designed, H is the height of the designed tank. So, and this one at the denominator, B times H, is the area of the tank. That is the surface area of the tank. So if you know the surface area of the tank, which is the width times the height, and you know the flow rate, then the horizontal velocity can be calculated. Then look at the surface loading of a settling tank. What is surface loading in the first place? It is the number of gallons of wastewater passing over 1 foot square of a tank per day. The surface loading of a settling tank is determined by equation 2 below. So Vs naught, which is the surface loading velocity, is equal to the Q all over B times L, where Q is the flow rate, B is the length of the tank, B is the width of the tank, L is the length of the tank in meters. So the surface loading velocity Vs naught is measured in meter cube per meter square per hour. Whereas the L, which is the length, is measured in meters. B, which is the width, is measured in meters as well. So if you know the width and you know the length, which this length times width is the cross-section area of the tank. If you know this and you know the flow rate, then the surface loading velocity can be calculated. The difference between this equation 1 and equation 2 is that for surface loading velocity, you are considering the length, whereas for the horizontal flow velocity, you are considering the height. So if all these things are put into considerations, now let us look at the trajectory of a particle in horizontal flow settling tank. At the position T1 on this figure, the water leaves the tank, and after T2, the particle has settled. The particle settles when T2 is less than T1. When T2 is less than T1, the particle settles. You can see the way the particle settles down to this point. Now, the velocity of the particle is divided into two, which is the horizontal and the vertical components, which is the horizontal and the vertical components. And the settling times can be written as T2 is less or equal to T1. Now, let us apply our simple physics here. Velocity is simply distance in a specific direction divided by the time taken to make that journey in a specific direction. Then if you make time the subject, you are going to have that time taken is equal to the distance in a specific direction divided by the velocity. So T2 is equal to the height, which is distance in this vertical direction, divided by the settling velocity, which is this velocity in this vertical component, is less or equal to T1. We are considering this side on the horizontal, which is the length on this horizontal in a specific direction, all over the velocity towards the horizontal component V0, which is this. So this is equal to that. If this is equal to that, we want to substitute equation 1 here. We want to substitute this equation 1 here. Please take note. V0 is equal to Q all over B times H. So if we are putting this here, we are going to have that H all over Vs, which is this, is less or equal to L all over. Instead of putting this, we substitute it with this value here. Therefore, H all over S, which is this, is less or equal to L H B all over Q. That is, we invert it because it's improper fraction. We invert it. So when we invert it, this will come up to multiply L here, whereas this will remain at the denominator. So if it is this is now equation 3. Now, let us bring out this. Let us bring out L times B all over Q, which is equation 2. B times L all over Q is the same thing as 1 all over Vs0. So if you take the inverse of the surface loading velocity, which is 1 all over Vs0, it's equal to BL all over Q all over Q. So that is what we are going to substitute here. So because we have BL all over Q, we are going to invert it this way. So 1 all over Vs0 is equal to LB all over Q from equation 2. Putting it into equation 3 and cancel out H. So what it means is that H all over Vs, which is this, is less or equal to this H that is surviving here, all over Vs naught, because we have substituted LB all over Q to be equal to this. So that is why we are now having this here, putting 1 over V naught to be equal to this, which is this here. So all these are equal to 1, because this H will cancel this H. When they cancel out, we'll now have 1 over Vs is less or equal to 1 over Vs naught. So if we cross multiply, this one going to multiply 1 here, which is Vs naught, this one going to multiply 1 here, which is Vs. So it means that Vs naught is less or equal to Vs, or which still implies that Vs is greater or equal to Vs naught. That is equation 4. So from equation 4, conditions for settling velocity. In special cases, when the settling velocity equals the surface loading, the particle reaches the end of the tank. This settling velocity is called the critical velocity, Vs naught, and is also equivalent to the surface loading. It can be concluded that a particle will only be removed if the settling velocity is greater than or equal to the critical settling velocity. After determining the settling velocity of a particle during a settling analysis, the surface loading and thus the dimensions of an ideal tank can be determined. So you don't just determine or construct a tank or design a tank. It must follow these principles so that sedimentation can take place when the tank is to be used for filtration process during water treatment. So it is remarkable that in theory, settling in a horizontal flow settling tank is only determined by the following: by the flow and the surface area of the tank, and is independent on the height of the tank. Now, look at the settling of a suspension in a horizontal flow settling tank. As you can see for this first part, you can see that it's already sedimented, it's already settled at this point. So, because it settled before getting to this point, the Vs, which is the velocity of the settling, is greater than the velocity of the loading, or loading velocity, or surface loading velocity. At this point, if the settling velocity is greater than the surface loading velocity, all the particles settle completely. You can see they settle completely before getting to this point. At the same time, if the surface loading is equal to the settling velocity, all the particles settle completely. The reason is that you can see all of them are settled before getting to this part. You can see it's settled at the point of critical velocity, which still indicate that all the particles were completely settled. Then on the other hand, when the Vs, which is the settling velocity, is less than the surface loading velocity, some of the particles settle completely. The reason is that, look at it, it's settled, but coming to this point is greater than the critical velocity. Because it has shifted beyond the critical velocity, some of the particles will suspend, whereas some will completely settle. So the fraction of the particles that settle in the case when Vs is less than Vs naught, which is settling velocity is less than surface loading velocity, is given above. So in this case, when we look at the height when the settling velocity is less than the surface loading velocity, all over the height when the settling velocity is equal to surface loading velocity, it is equal to the surface loading velocity multiplied by the resident time all over the surface loading velocity multiplied by the resident time. So when you cancel out, you only have the settling velocity all over the surface loading velocity, which is equal to this all over that, where T is the resident time of water in the settling tank. That's the time it takes for the water to relax or stay before it settles completely or before it will leave the tank. And it is equal to T1. If you can remember the previous slides. So at this point, we look at the relationship between the settling velocity and the surface overflow rate. So the settling velocity at the same time is equal to depth of settling tank divided by the residence time, which is equal to depth all over settling tank volume divided by the flow rate. So when we bring it out the way it should be, we have Vs, which is the settling velocity, is equal to depth, which is h or height, all over area times depth divided by flow rate. So area or surface area multiplied by depth is the same thing as the volume of the tank. So that is why here we put it as area multiplied by depth divided by the flow rate. So this one will cancel out this. If it cancels out, we only have 1 all over surface area divided by the flow rate. When you do improper fraction, when you invert it, you are going to have flow rate all over the surface area. So if you have it this way, then it implies that the settling velocity is equal to the flow rate divided by the cross-section area or the surface area, which is at the same time equal to the horizontal flow velocity, V0, which is equal to the flow rate all over the width times height, whereas this width times height is the same thing as the surface area of the tank, where Vs is the settling velocity, Q is the flow rate, A is the surface area of the tank, B is the width of the tank, H is the height of the tank, Vs is the surface loading or overflow rate. Thanks for your attention and subscription to our YouTube channel.